Spring is here, and that means I'm back in my garden, and I'm going to take you through a quick walkthrough, show you what I've been planting. This is Urban Sentinel. Let's get into it. Alright, so I did a lot of scaling back this time for planting, keeping it extremely simple. It's all still containers in buckets and barrels and things like that, but I've reduced the amount of what I'm actually planting and hopefully simplifying and streamlining things to make it a little bit more manageable as well. As always, I've started with the compost. I've been using a lot of this because it's extremely rich, filled with nutrients, and I've already put that into several of the containers. This way they start off, they've got a good base going. As the seeds start developing, they'll be able to pull all that nutrients out of the soil with the compost mixed into it. Makes it a lot easier for them to grow. Now we're going to start right here. This laundry basket is sweet potato. I've already put the sweet potato seedlings in the bottom, and as they start to sprout and develop their slips, I'll continue to cover them a little bit with loose compost till they get to be about 6 inches long, and then I'll pull the slips and then I'll plant those into full soil. Now I've got 3 identical laundry baskets. This one, red potatoes, and then I've got this one, white potatoes, and then of course this one, blue potatoes. Each one of them right now down in the bottom in that soil are the potato seeds set up, and then as they start sprouting, I'll continue to cover with mulch that I have hilling all the way up as it grows and grows till it gets up towards the top area. Now I did have trouble with this potato setup the last time, and again it was a case of water rot, where the outside does tend to dry up more because it's exposed to the air, but the inner center area still retained too much moisture. And with that being the case, a lot of the potatoes were effectively just sitting, getting squishier inside. So once I dumped them out and taken a look at it, pretty much I could tell that that was the main cause of it. So it's still on me to monitor the water, but now to take basically a depth test gauge. I'll be using like a wooden dowel, slipping it into the side, and seeing how much of it is actually coming out with moist or wet soil and how much is still kind of dry. This way I have a better idea of what the water conditions are in the middle towards the center of the basket. So that would effectively be, this area was the primary column of where all the moisture was being retained, whereas the outer areas going in, even just 1.5 inches or so, was pretty much dried up. Now this is going to be a basket of collard greens. The only reason why I did it in the basket is because I've literally just had this extra basket and I didn't have a bucket to the big enough size that I wanted to use, so I just went for the next largest thing. But it's going to be collard greens in here, all beets inside of this tub, bush beans growing in here, and I'll be able to do several planting cycles. There's still enough room for the initial beans I put in. I'll be able to hit several cycles over the next 2 or 3 months to keep a constant, steady growth of those. And then I've got peas in this tub here, again spread throughout, but I have enough growing room that I'll be able to do at least 1 more, possibly 2 more cycles through the rest of the season. So I'm not going to be getting fancy, but I am going to try just a few things to see how they work, and we'll see how that goes. It's still going to be effectively just in the containers. I'm still not really going to do much besides just flowers outside in the ground. So in here I'm going to be planting a cherry tomato and then a Roma tomato plant. They're going to share this space. And then I've got a hot pepper and a sweet pepper. They're going to share this space. Doing 1 eggplant right here by itself. Then in this back corner I've got a Jupiter pepper, which is similar to a sweet pepper, but it's larger. It's a bigger, fuller, more robust version of a bell pepper. And then beefsteak tomato, again, it's going to be a large plant, so it's going to have the space all to itself here. I'll be doing kale in this bucket. It's deep enough and wide enough that I should get a good growth out of it. Then Paris lettuce growing in here. I'm going to do broccoli in this one, and then spinach in this one. Now in this jumbo one, I'm going to be doing yellow squash It'll have a trellis pole. This one is gray squash, which really is light green zucchini. And then of course green squash, traditional zucchini, a little bit darker, that'll be here. And then cucumber, gonna grow that over in this one as well. Now my primary goal with planting these is still to provide at least some vegetables that have a high nutrient quality, a good nutrient density. So in the combination of all the different vegetables that will come through, it'll still be able to provide my family with something more substantial. We're still going to be buying at the supermarkets and things like that for a lot of the stuff just for volume and convenience. But if we can supplement what we do purchase with this to kind of offset some of the financial issues and offset some of the nutritional issues, hopefully that'll work out for the better for us. I haven't finished clearing them up, but along in these spots along here, I'm going to be doing some herbs, mostly culinary herbs. Dill, oregano, thyme, that sort of thing, filling them in to these spaces along this side here. And now in this flower bed, this is roughly a 3x4 size flower bed. It's about 6 inches deep. It's only going to be wildflowers and marigolds, basic pollinators, nothing fancy. I haven't finished clearing up the rest of the yard for the other ornamental decorative flowers. Those will probably be going in over the next month or so. So if you're doing small space, tiny gardens, container gardens, whatever the situation is, it really comes down to trying to maximize, not simply packing in as much as you can, but making the most with the beneficial vegetables that are available, trying to time out grow cycles, do companion planting, things that'll work out in the same pot as long as they have substantial room, or at least a significant amount of room for each of them to grow and not compete with each other, and monitoring and maintaining that sort of cycle. That's the key thing. So it's almost irregardless of the size of your gardening space, it's how you start to utilize it. Some cases it may be just simply stacking tiered shelves with different sized pots on them to grow certain things. Like you can do the culinary herbs in small little 8 to 12 ounce pots. You can do some of the larger crunchy vegetables, we'll just call it that, in medium-sized pots going up to a half gallon, 3/4 of a gallon, so forth. And then your really deep-rooted ones, such as the squash, things like that, you would need larger buckets to handle that, as well as some of the vinier plants as well. But you plan it out and you maximize what you've got. And I think that still the advantage with containers is you can shift and move them around to arrange, make space, catch your sunlight depending upon where you have it in, and that helps overall. Now, I've still had probably, I'd say, a 60-40 split of success to failure in my garden over the last 5 years, but it hasn't been continuous and it hasn't been straight through any one season. The mistakes that I make or the things that have gone wrong in previous years and I correct and adjust to, something new comes up in the following year. Some cases it's the same thing, such as with the potatoes. You know, it's one of those, I learned something else in the last growing season and now I'm going to implement it for this new one. So really comes down to this growing season. Hopefully things will do well. You know, it's one of those ones where it can be frustrating and after a while you do want to give up, but I've been sticking to it for the last few years because, again, that 40% of improvement and success that I have is what really drives it. Now, sure, I would love it to be 60% over 40, but 40 still, each time I get a little bit better at something, it gives me a little something to look forward to for the next year, to try something out like I'm doing with this current experiment. So let me know in the comments what you're planning. Are you new to gardening and this is your first experience? Have you been working at it for a while? Do you have any tips, ideas that not just for me, but for anyone else who's watching? And what are your plans for the garden going forward during this year, hopefully into next year, especially depending upon the type of weather that you get in your area? Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.